It's lights out and away we go.
And it's that time of year again, my little gremlins. Welcome back to the channel. And I'm sure, as some of you know, I used to be a Formula One game sim racer back a couple of years ago, as I've talked about in some of my videos. And so now that F125 is out, I wanted to jump on the game and finally see how it goes. I've only played F124 here and there because the game was really arguably really bad. But F125 seems a lot more promising, and I wanted to jump on the game and see how it goes. In this video, I am planning on potentially showing off some of the new features, like the decal editor and the decal editor and logo editor and whatever it is they added, and then also just give my opinions on the handling and just do like an example race and an example like time trial to see how it goes, and just judge everything by myself. Obviously, as you can hear as I'm doing this, like this part obviously was pre-recorded because like the replay of the race is running in the background. But other than that, like everything I'm doing is just gonna be, the only editing part about it is gonna be me editing like the clips together to be more digestible. Otherwise this video would be like 2 hours long. But yeah, I just wanted to give my perspective on the new game and see how it was, as someone who used to competitively play these games 2 or 3 years ago and was arguably decently good at them. I just wanted to get my perspective and see how it goes. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching. And obviously, as you load in the game, the first thing you see is Lewis Hamilton's beautiful face, because why would you not want to? You jump into F1 World and immediately look at my avatar, which is very clearly not me. But then we jump into F1 World and see all the modes. Back out of it again, because I don't want to do that just yet. And then we're graded by the fan zone. So we run through that real quick, because the F1 game for some reason makes you do the F1 fan zone when you first launch it. So we're going to confirm Haas and Charles Leclerc, my two goats, together in this regard. Choose them for the season that we're doing right now, and then move on. And clearly, of course, after that, the first thing I'm going to do is customization and customize my driver profile. Because, I mean, I hope you can hear it, but I unfortunately am not a woman, so we're going to have to change it to a man and go from there. Naturally, we jump further on forward. I'm customizing all of the regular stuff we can do. You know, the helmet, the race suit, the gloves, all of the stuff that we're all used to being able to customize already from years past in these games. This has been a staple that you can do. It's really a staple for all racing games. You can just do this in general. I'm not really sure what kind of crack they were smoking with these victory poses, but you know what? Why not? But all this customization stuff so far is obviously the same as it used to be. It's always been the same. It's not going to change anytime soon. The real cool part that we're moving on to now is actually the car editing, which the first part, the livery editor, is still the same. That's all still the same as it used to be. You go in, you find a car that you like, a livery. You only start off with 3 liveries, I think, for the base game. And then you can unlock other liveries through the podium pass. I like this livery the best. I think it fits with the style I want to go to the most. We're going to bring Synthwave back to the F1 world. We're going to bring Synthwave back from the 80s to the 2025s. So we are going to be pink, blue, and black, because that is arguably the best color combination. Now for F1 My Team, we're probably not going to do that. But that's for another video. The best part about this now for the new game is this decal editor, where you can go in and you can adjust and add your own decals wherever you want for your sponsors, for your My Team and F1 World cars, which is what we're going to do. And since we're going for a synthwave theme, obviously we need to find a logo for the sponsor that fits with that theme. Echo probably looks the best for that, I would say. You can see on the bottom left you have 6 different options for the logos. In the top left you can see you have a snapping mode and a few different options for actually editing the logo. You can move it up and down, you can move it side to side to see where you want it, make sure it fits properly on the car where you want it to be. But with the snapping mode, it actually snaps to a couple certain different points along the car, which is obviously honestly really helpful if you're trying to do like very specific things about it. But again, with the top left, you can control the size, you can control where it goes, everything like that. You can control rotation. So we're just going to play around with the logos a bit, and here we are. Finally, the car is done. This took me about 20 minutes to do because I am a graphic designer. I wanted to make sure everything was perfect. I think it turned out well. It looks like an actual real F1 car, and I think that was the goal for this decal editor, is make all the cars look normal. The last part you obviously have to do is the logo editor. You need to make sure your logo actually fits with what you want. I'm just going to do a really quick logo, put together a really quick logo to make sure it's personalized for me the way I want it to be, because obviously this is my save and I need it to be how I like it. For F1 My Team, I'm probably going to use a different logo and a different car livery to fit more the channel's branding, not just my own personal likings. We're going to change the logo to the pink and blue, like how I want it to be. Top's going to be pink. We're going to keep the bottom blue to make it a darker shade of blue. And then for the background, we're going to make it black, because I think that looks the best. And then obviously after that, you can play around with the gradients and stuff on the background if you like. But with that being said, I think next up is going to be the best part of the video, which is going to be a time trial to see how the handling is, and then a race to see if the AI of Racecraft has improved for this year. We're immediately going to jump into Monaco, given that that was the race that was this weekend, where Lando Norris took a phenomenal win in front of Charles Leclerc. We're going to jump in immediately into Monaco with a custom setup, try to do our best to do a representative lap time. My goal is about a 111, immediately crash into the wall there, hit the wall there, and immediately fail off rip. Second attempt, we're going to go ahead and start off the lap again, go a little bit wide on the final corner heading into the first straight, but that's fine. You can still gain time on Monaco even if you're a little bit behind. Slow down into turn 1 and immediately spin, because I'm really good at this. Moving on to attempt number 3. This is, I think, going to be our first lap in anger on this track, where I actually take it by force. Of course, you can see in the top left, I already have a personal best. That's because I did take some time before recording this to actually run some laps. So far in Sector 1, it's smooth, but as you can see, just like F124, the detection for hitting walls and stuff, even though I hit the wall hard there, the detection for hitting walls is still miserable, so we go again. Now attempt number 4 at this point. We go into the straight once more, start off our lap quite well, all yellow for the last lap, start off slow, take turn 1 a little bit tentatively because I'm still trying to get used to the handling, because I will admit the handling for this year is a little bit more floaty than last year, in my opinion. Not in a bad way. I think last year it was a little bit tight at times when you were trying to do handling. Smack into the wall again, exactly perfect point of what I'm saying with it being floaty. But you can also chuck the car into the corners a little bit better than you could in F124. And I mean that in the sense that instead of like spinning whenever you put like full lock on the steering wheel or some real traction, as I smack the wall one more time, you can actually throw the car into the corners without a risk of immediately spinning out. You can actually short shift without it feeling like you're going to run off the track because of a failure in the physics. We're going to immediately spin again because I'm pushing the car too hard and I really suck at this. So what I decided to do was I actually wanted to go in and change my setup a little bit. The reason I wanted to do that was because even though I know a lot of people use the default setups, I'm so used to doing my own setups for these games that I wanted to put my own setup on. I was looking up my setup that I had saved from F124 for Monaco, decided to chuck it on. Obviously, Monaco is a very technical track. You want to have as much downforce as possible, so it's 50-50 for both front and rear downforce. Chuck a little bit of differential on the adjustment on the throttle. Off you go. Next we go on our first proper push laps with a real setup. Gonna go into turn number, I think it was 14, 16, I forget. I think it's 16. Turn number 16 of Monaco, down the front straight, into the first corner, brake hard at about 75 meters, hit the curb on the inside, get a good exit with some good traction out, go up Bourgavage, I believe it's called. I forget. I'm sorry, I'm American. I don't know all the names. I try my best, but I'm miserable at it. Sometimes I forget the names of tracks and corners. But going into the Nouvelle hairpin, of course, you want to make sure your rear tire touches that curb to give yourself some more rotation as the front of the car lifts up. Go down into the Riviera and towards the tunnel. Take that corner as tight as you can and go into the tunnel with as good traction as you can. Clearly, this lap so far isn't the best in the world. I know that compared to people like Aravan, Tiamat Marduk. It's not going to be the best, but I haven't played these games properly in about 2 years. Now, as I keep alluding to, though, I'm planning, as I smack the wall again, I'm planning on doing a My Team career mode because I miss playing these games all the time. And so I'm going to be doing that. As we head into the final sector, though, you can see I'm almost a 10th up on my previous best time. Goes to 2/10 as I go through the final corner. By the time I get to the finish line, is 2.5 tenths clear of my best time, and I'm almost 2 seconds back from Lando Norris's pole position time. But, you know, obviously we keep going. Gonna try to pop in another best lap because I really wanted to get close. It's gonna be hard because I believe they made the cars a little bit slower for this year, for F125 compared to F124, because F124, the cars were genuinely rapid. Like the couple times I played, I mean, you can see it in the Australia pole position video I did a few months ago, where I tried to do a lap. The cars were so rapid in F124, even without even stuff, you could go full ham. But obviously this lap wasn't the best. I ended up calling this lap off later, but not because I was doing poorly. I was actually still on pace, because taking a wide line like that was still fine. I'm still on pace to hit what I need to do. But I mean, clearly it's not the best lap in the world. So as we go across the chicane, I get a track limits warning as I take the George Russell line through the chicane. Do a very nice entrance into the swimming pool sector though, and a really nice turn right there, which if this lap would have been valid, would have been a really, really good lap, because as you can see, coming into the final sector, we do lose a 10th, but immediately gain back a lot of time, and then immediately lose another 10th again. That's how volatile Monaco is. But coming into the final turn, it would have been 11.5. But that's enough time trial. I know what you all wanted to see was the race. And so what we're going to do is, to celebrate the fact that it's going to be the Spanish Grand Prix next, we're actually going to go to Spain and do a Grand Prix in Spain. And of course it wouldn't be a Spanish Grand Prix without a Spanish driver, so we are of course going to race as Carlos Sainz.
It's a Catalonian qualifying for you today. Welcome along to Spain, to Barcelona, and wherever you are in the world. Do you feel the need for speed?
Nope, I sure don't, Crofty, but thank you for asking. Anyways, it really wouldn't make sense to drive a Spanish Grand Prix the first time you play this game without either driving as Fernando Alonso or Carlos Sainz. I'm not the biggest Fernando Alonso fan, and the Aston Martin is a tractor, so I chose to drive as Carlos Sainz. The way I have this weekend structured is going to be a one-shot qualifying and then a 25% race. We're going to do that and just see how the AI handles racing, how the racing really is, if anything feels different from F124 doing races, and if the handling still suits and works out the way I want it in race trim. As we wait for my past self to actually start the race, I do want to ask that in the comments. You guys tell me, do you enjoy the game so far? If you've played it or not? That'd be a great thing for me to know if you could tell me. Now as we start this lap, of course, you can see on the screen, I do use an ultra wide. I do fix this towards later on in the video, but I had my HUD messed up a little bit, so it didn't record properly. But you can already tell going into turn 4, I've had a miserable start to this lap. Thankfully, they've added ERS to the game again, so you can actually use the ERS properly to actually hit some overtake button to actually use it properly. But we're going to immediately go into the grass. I'm going to actually hit a flashback here because I wanted this video to be, you know, not me messing up all the time while I'm trying to figure out the handling for this year's game. So we're going to jump back to turn 4. So we're going to turn 5, we're going to take a little bit of a better line, stick it to the inside a little bit more, let the car drift to the outside as you accelerate into gear 6, and in turn 6 down to gear 2, short shifting to get some better angle in the corner, short shift back up to 3rd gear to get some better traction, hit the overtake button, and then down to 4th gear for turn 7 and 8 complex. Turn 9 is flat out with these cars. You don't have to brake anymore when you go through turn 9. You get to hit the overtake onto the back straight of the track, and then turn 10 is always really tricky because it looks a lot faster than it actually is, so you always get caught out. Turn 11, very simple, you don't really need to worry about it too much. And then turn 12 merges into turn 11. Turn 13, now instead of a chicane, you're flat out. Go flat out in turn 14, ride the grass, because why not? And we're going to flash back again because I'm not good at this. I think I set up the car to be a little bit too understeery for my liking. I think I changed it a little bit before the race. But, I mean, the handling so far at this point felt fine. I think it was just an issue with the setup, and I think I adjusted throughout, but it doesn't show on the screen. Actually, it does. We did end up with a disappointing P14 for Carlos Sainz's home race, which is unfortunate, but as we go on,
so many
we'll see if we can do
here
better
in
than that.
Barcelona over the years. Do you remember Max Verstappen's first win on debut for Red Bull here in 2016? 2 years before, we had the dramatic coming together of Hamilton and Rosberg going towards turn 4. There's always a treat in store as we head back to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and the popular opinion in the paddock is that we never wanted the chicane in the first place. That's now been gone, the final corner is much faster, and at 2.9 miles and 14 turns, we await the Spanish Grand Prix.
Thank you, Crofty.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, and Norris, Fernando Alonso, Antonelli, Leclerc, and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, Lawson, Alex Albon, and Sainz, Stroll, Behrman, Jack Doohan, and Gabriel Bortoleto. Hadjar and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And with me for this commentary this afternoon, former racing driver Naomi Schiff. Now, Ant, you always tell me you know Barcelona almost as well as you know the back of your hand. Given the amount of testing that goes on here and the amount of laps that you and all the other drivers have done, what are the challenges that are left when it comes to the race?
Well, this certainly is a favorite track when it comes to testing. And I'll tell you why that is. It's because it offers up so much variation. You've got corners that are fast, that are slow, that are long, that are short. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to work with. But T9 is one of my personal favorites because it is so challenging. Every time you get there, you think, should I lift or should I stay flat? Well, I tell you, stay flat. Commit.
Well, she's not wrong, I gotta say.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
That's also another addition I like that they added. They actually added driver radios. Now, as you can tell, we're all getting ready to do this race. Well, hopefully it's gonna go well. I'm gonna select our strategy real quick. It already has a good strategy set for me. The soft medium, which I think is better than the soft hard. It's gonna be a little slower. We're gonna take off some fuel and get ready to race. As we approach the 5 lights. 5 lights are on. They go off and away we go. It's a decent start for myself. Short shift in the second gear and slip between Liam Lawson and my teammate Alex Albon. Try to slip behind Charles Leclerc, who for some reason is down in 9th. Get next to Pierre Gasly. Brake as hard as we can. Actually almost get forced into the back of Charles Leclerc. Trying to tiptoe around the inside of turn 3 and down the outside of turn 4 past Pierre Gasly. But he is sticking along the inside of us as we run wide in turn 4. Trying to stay alongside. Dive down towards Charles Leclerc to try and keep the position away from Gasly. Go outside again. That's my biggest kryptonite. Gasly is still on the outside of us. Going into turn 6. And we finally managed to secure P10 from Pierre Gasly as we managed to get into turn 7. Now, from that interaction by itself, you can already see that the racecraft of the AI this year has been remarkably improved from 2024. Because in 2024, I remember even though the AI would give you space, they wouldn't race you really. They would give you space and let you have the position, which was a really downgrade from F1 23, as we make a lovely move to the inside of Charles Leclerc to secure P9 already on the opening lap, going from P14 to P9 in the span of about 10 corners. But as I was saying, the AI actually races you properly now. They don't just let you go by without a fight, unless you're Charles Leclerc for some reason. Of course, Max Verstappen is in the lead. What else do you expect? But the AI actually races you. The AI actually races you now. And along with that, watch this. 3 wide. They actually give you space to jump down the inside and race them through the corners. It's fantastic. As Fernando Alonso tries to stick around the outside of us through turn 4 for the second time. We're fighting someone through turn 4. Get that move done before turn 5 this time. And we'll go up into P7 from P14 in the span of a lap and a half. What a start by us this has been. I mean, oh my, this is amazing. But realistically though, like the AI, you can already tell after the first lap and a half is remarkably better than it was in F124. The handling seems so much better. So we're going to jump ahead now to lap 5 as I'm chasing down Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, Yuki Tsunoda, and George Russell in front of me to see if we can get Carlos Sainz a podium in his home race. Go a little bit deep into turn 9, into turn 10 there. Slide around a little bit as we go into turn 11. But we're getting close to Oscar Piastri. Now in the straight for lap 6, we're actually closing in on the back of him. You can see in the front, Lewis Hamilton is fighting Lando Norris. My goal is to try and catch Oscar Piastri as fast as possible so I can try and get ahead of him in the pit stop cycle to stay ahead and maybe secure a really high points finish for Carlos Sainz in his race. I'm going to skip ahead to lap 7. Now we're getting closer and closer every single lap to catching Oscar Piastri. It's been like 5 laps I've been chasing the gaggle in front of me down. I keep going a little wide on turn 14, but as you can see, the overtake button and DRS combo is so powerful in this game. That's one of the few complaints I do have, is that they seem to have made the DRS a little bit more powerful compared to F124 to try and encourage better racing and overtaking. It might have been a tick too much, but as you can see, if the AI in front of you has DRS themselves, it's not really causing you to catch them immediately. So as we go into turn 5 here, we're going to actually make up a huge chunk of time on Oscar Piastri because of my entrance into turn 5. Coming out into turn 6 now, short shift down into second gear, back up to third for some better traction. We're going to slide out of turn 6 a little bit there on the way to turn 8. Chuck it down into fourth gear, have a good turn, a little bit of a freeze there for a second. And then through turn 9, flat out, hit the overtake as we enter the back straight with DRS. And we're going to try and get as close as we can to try and see if we can make a move anyway. You can see 4 cars in front of us now on lap 8. I think my pit stop was lap 9. We are within 5/10 of Oscar Piastri and a Williams against the fastest car on the grid. It's still baffling to me that even now on release, after having seen the entire season so far, McLaren absolutely dominate. The F1 game still has Red Bull as the by far fastest car. But we are going to run up to the back of Oscar Piastri here. Decide not to make a dive on because that would be a really dumb move. Almost run to the back of him as I'm a little bit greedy. And come down now through to turn 3, turn 4 complex again. Lose a little bit of time because it was a compromised exit for me because I ran so deep into turn 1. But you can see we're definitely gaining this. Fernando Alonso has actually been following me through this entire time to stay with me as I chase these guys down. Slide out of turn 5 a little bit, going to turn 6 again. Lock up the tires. You can see by now I am pretty much skating around on ice because the tires are so shot because I'm racing softs in the Grand Prix. They're so shot at this point, it's ridiculous. But still, we're going to go through turn 9. I sense an opportunity here. We're going to hit the overtake immediately, hit the DRS. We're going to see if we can send one down the inside of Oscar Piastri. And we do, and make the move stick. And like I said, just driving on ice as I'm sliding around the corners trying to get my car to grip up after that move. Which, immediately afterwards, I decided right then and there, I am pitting at the end of this lap. I could not use these tires anymore. So we are diving straight into the pits to put on some mediums and attack this track as much as we can for the last 7 laps. Skipping ahead now to the end of lap 10. I've given these tires a warm-up lap now. Jeff will not stop talking. I've given these tires a lap to warm up now. I'm running past everybody who was in front of me. And as we come out and onto the main straight, we are 6th place. Yuki Tsunoda is right in front of us. Oscar Piastri sends one down the outside of us into turn 1. We cover that off beautifully into turn 2. Cut off the inside and chase after Yuki Tsunoda. Through turn 4, you can already see because of the cold tires, Yuki is not able to carry the same amount of speed as we are. We are catching him to turn 4. And turn 5 just make up so much ground because I'm able to brake so much later because of my warmed up tires. Into turn 6, we're going to make up even more ground. I can already sense a move coming into the back straight because at this point we've gained about a second on Yuki Tsunoda in the span of like 4 corners. We are going to give him a little bit of a love tap into turn 7 and 8. Turn 9, we are going to have to slow down because Yuki is going slow trying to warm up his tires on the hards. We are going to go to the inside onto the dirty side of the track. We are going to make the move stick though. Run it a little bit down out on the outside of the turn to make sure Yuki can't stick around the outside. We are going to make up that position. We are now into P5. What a great race we're having so far. We on lap 11. We've gone from 14th to 5th. And we are now going to set off and chase after Sir Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari with Carlos Sainz in the Williams. Can we get the move done? Skipping ahead to the end, to middle of lap 13, we have now closed up right to the back of Lewis Hamilton. Onto the back straight. Is a move possible? We will see. I'm going to try and see if hitting the overtake is going to bring us close. It's going to bring us so close. The speed difference is so great. We're going to send it down the outside of Sir Lewis Hamilton and make the move into turn 10. We are up to P4 behind Lando Norris now. The question is, can I catch Lando Norris, or am I going to have to defend from Lewis Hamilton and Oscar Piastri, who are both right behind me? As we make a mistake into the front stretch, we are immediately going to have to defend because I have lost about 6/10 trying to make up the time for that. As you can see, Lewis Hamilton and Oscar Piastri both sending it on the inside, and we're going to hit the brakes and send it around the outside of Oscar Piastri and down the inside into turn 3, trying to pass Lewis Hamilton, going to stick it around the outside of him. And we are going to follow behind. We're going to wedge our nose around the outside. Sir Lewis Hamilton gives us a little space. We're going to run up into turn 5, outbrake him, stick it around the outside. Can we make the move stick? No, there's Isaac Hadjar spun around. Lewis Hamilton takes time to get back in front. We're going to send it down into turn 6, lick the stamp and send it, push him out wide a little bit, and secure the position. To P4 we go once more. And that right there by itself just proves that the AI are so much better at racing this year than they were in F1 24. I gotta say, I'm enjoying this game already a lot more than I did F1 24. This game's AI is not the best in the world, but it's definitely a market improvement.
Okay, gap ahead, 0.2 seconds.
Obviously, Jeff still has problems reading numbers, but going on to lap 16 now, we are trying to chase down Lando Norris, chucking the car into hot lap mode for the battery to see if we can make up any time. Take a really deep entrance to turn 2 and 3. Try and get some time in turn 4. We're going to go a little bit wide, hit the white part of the line on the edge of the track. Let's chuck it in turn 5, then actually go wide, which is going to lose a little bit of time. Sliding around at this point, the mediums are now at this point also giving up because I've been using them so much, pushing so hard. We're going to actually go wide into turn 6 as well. And we are absolutely trying our best to catch Lando Norris now in these last few laps. We are not able to get within 2 seconds, even though every time I gain some time, I either make a mistake or Lando puts in a better turn in front of me because the McLaren is so fast. We're going to go wide into turn 10 here as well. Slide around a bit, lose all the time I've made up, and just are going to have to settle for P4 because there's no way we're going to be able to catch Lando Norris. So for this last lap of the race, I'm actually going to shut up, and you're going to actually be able to hear the sound design because unlike 24, 25 actually has some somewhat decent, if not good, sound design. So just enjoy watching this final lap. I'm actually going to jump in now here to start commentating again as we come out through turn 12 of this Spanish Grand Prix. We are actually going to hit the accelerator too much and spin in Carlos Sainz's home race and lose all of the progress we've made and go from P4 to P8, barely managing to get back going before Pierre Gasly gets past us. Coming through turn 14 into P8 for Carlos Sainz. Not the result we wanted, but the result we're going to get.
It's a shame our car is so quick, but so did we get.
Well driven. Best we could have achieved today.
We are going to get driver of the day as Carlos Sainz because we made up 6 positions. Probably would have been better to be finished P4, but it is what it is. All right, Crofty, we don't need your puns around here, okay? That's not necessary.
It was a light to dominance.
Yep. About as per usual, Lando Norris on the podium, Max Verstappen in first. That's about what you expect to see, either that or the flip side around.
It's what they've all been racing towards, waiting for them. High above the pit lane is our podium. And for the lucky three, it's time to stand on it. But there can only be one on the top step. Your number one, Max Verstappen.
And thank you, Crofty, for that commentary. With that, let's discuss the game, shall we? We're going to actually have a replay of the game playing as we talk about this. What are my thoughts on the game? I know this is, if you're still around, this is probably what you've been wanting to hear, my thoughts on the game, which is probably why you watched. I do think this is a much bigger improvement from F124 than F124 was to F123. Well, given the fact that F124 actually went backwards compared to F123, in my opinion, on handling, I do think this is a much bigger improvement than last year. The handling feels really nice. It's still a little bit snappy on oversteery moments. If you go too far into the corner, or if you go too fast, the cars will still step out on you very easily, but it's a lot more manageable. So like if you have a little bit of oversteer to the corner, you can very easily catch it in this game, but you still have the aspect of F124 where you can just kind of throw the car into the corners with a lot of steering lock and a grip immediately if you have the tires for it, which during the race you could see a lot of times. I would try to throw the car into the corner, it wouldn't stick because I didn't have the grip for it. During time trial, obviously that's the best way you can get lap time, is just throw the car into the corners, it'll stick regardless. Other than that, I do think it feels a little bit floaty. Sometimes the curbs do still catch you out, especially on the laser scan tracks that they introduced this year, which, by the way, 5 laser scan tracks is not enough, but it's what we get. Like, what are we going to do about it? We can't do anything. Also, this move here was beautiful. Watching it back, that was amazing. But what are we supposed to do? Like, we can only get so much that EA gives us, and EA is money hungry. Like, they're gonna keep stuff from us if they can make money off of it. But again, realistically, this game is a huge improvement from F124 when it comes to handling. When it comes to AI racecraft and just racecraft in general as well, I think this game is a lot better than F124 as well. I think they did a great job with actually improving some of the things we wanted improved. With the racecraft, the AI will actually properly race you now instead of just letting you by like they used to, which of course is a thing everybody says every year, because every year they improve the AI and make them better. But I think this year is probably the best I've seen when it comes to AI racecraft since probably F1 2021 and F1 2020 before the new regulations, when it was probably the best it's been. Outside of that, I'm very excited to actually play this game this year. I would give it a solid like 4.5 out of 5 when it comes to the standards and of quality we're used to for the F1 games by now. When it comes to simulator rankings compared to stuff like Assetto Corsa Evo, Assetto Corsa, even F1 a couple of years ago, it's probably still a 3 out of 5, but that's just because the F1 games are so notoriously arcadey with their handling compared to real sims, because they're trying to appeal to a much broader audience. Outside of that, I am going to enjoy this game a lot, and I hope you stay tuned for the My Team career mode, which will be coming out in a couple days for part 1 as well, where we're going to take my team and we're going to actually go ahead and try to fight for championships in a couple of years' time. So I hope you stick around for that. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment what you think would be the best thing they could add to F125 if you had a wish list of things you could add. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.